Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about a number that makes car nerds grin and mechanics cry. 8,000 RPM. That's the kind of engine speed where the normal world stops and the engine enters its "I'm basically a jet turbine now" phase. So, what's actually going on inside that metal box under your hood when it screams its way up there? Let's break it down in a way that won't bore you to death. Section 1. What 8,000 revolutions per minute really means. First things first, RPM means revolutions per minute. So 8,000 revolutions per minute means the crankshaft is spinning 8,000 times per minute, or 133 times per second. Just think about that. A giant chunk of metal is spinning faster than a blender on max power, while controlled explosions shove it harder every rotation. That's absolutely wild. And your pistons? They're not just going up and down. They're doing this rocket over 250 times per second. Imagine punching a wall 250 times per second. Your hand wouldn't survive. Somehow the piston does. Section 2. The crazy physics inside the engine. At 8K RPM, everything inside the engine is under stress. Let's go piece by piece. 1. Pistons, the Jim brothers of the engine. They're being thrown up and down so fast that the forces on them can reach thousands of Gs. Yes, G as in the same thing astronauts feel. Only more. This is why high-revving engines use lightweight forged pistons. Cast pistons? They'd basically tap out and say, "Nope, I'm clocking out." 2. Connecting rods, the unsung heroes. These rods take every explosion and every direction change. At 8,000 revolutions per minute, each rod is being yanked and pushed like someone trying to pull a shopping cart out of quicksand. A cheap rod will bend. A really cheap rod? It'll just straight up leave the group chat and exit through the side of your engine block. 3. Valves, the ninjas up top. The valves are snapping open and shut about 133 times per second. That's faster than your blinking speed multiplied by a lot. This is where something terrifying can happen. Warning: valve float. Basically, the valve stops following the camshaft because the spring can't keep up, and suddenly the piston and the valve meet each other. And trust me, they are not meant to be friends. That's why high-rev engines need stiff valve springs, light valves, and sometimes even VTEC-style systems or desmodromic systems like Ducati uses. 4. Oil system, running a marathon at sprint speed. Oil is supposed to form a slippery film between metal parts. At 8K RPM, that oil is getting whipped around like it's in a Hollywood explosion scene. If your oil pump can't keep up, parts will go dry. And dry parts inside an engine? Well, that's the sound of your bank account crying. Section 3. The sound of 8,000 revolutions per minute. Let's take a moment to appreciate the music of 8K. Because that's the point where the engine stops sounding like a machine and starts sounding like an animal. High-pitched scream, raspy induction noise, exhaust note turning into a laser beam of anger. This is why engines like Honda K20S, BMW M engines, Ferraris and superbikes feel so magical. They live to scream. They were engineered to do this. Section 4. Why some engines can rev this high and others explode at 6K. Not all engines get to visit the 8,000 revolutions per minute party. Some engines glance at 6K RPM and go, "I am tired." Here's why. Short stroke equals less travel distance safer at high speed. Long stroke engines make torque, but they hate high RPM. Lightweight internals. Weight equals less stress. High flow heads and cams. If the engine can't breathe, it can't rev. Strong oil pump and cooling. High RPM equals high heat and friction. Balanced rotating assembly. An unbalanced crank at 8K RPM is basically a washing machine about to explode. Section 5. What happens if you stay at 8,000 revolutions per minute too long? Short bursts? Your engine is like Woo woo, let's go. Long pulls? Your engine is like, hey, boss, it's getting kind of warm in here. Staying too long at high RPM can lead to overheating, oil starvation, valve float or valve bounce, spun bearings, connecting rod failure, kaboom. You searching for a new engine on eBay at 2 a.m. Section 6, why we love it anyway. So why do we chase 8,000 revolutions per minute even though it's basically mechanical self-torture? Because it's thrilling, it's addictive, it's the engine giving everything it has. It's the closest we get to hearing raw mechanical perfection. That feeling when the tatch swings to the edge of the red line. That moment where the engine is alive. That's why. So now you know when your engine hits 8,000 revolutions per minute, it's not just spinning fast. It's performing one of the most violent, precise, beautifully engineered dances in the mechanical world. If you enjoyed this deep dive into engine insanity, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what's the highest RPM you've ever hit in your car or bike? Thanks for watching, and remember, keep it revving but don't send your rods to the shadow realm.